Star Wars Rebels Season 2, Episode 5, Wings of the Master. Definitely a fun episode because we got a real big focus on Hera, which we never do. So, that in itself is just good because I love when we get a focus on a character that we don't get, we normally don't get a focus on. And Hera, despite being like the pilot and really the reason that everyone's able to travel where they travel, we don't have anything on her. Like, even in the first season, I mean, she has moments. Of course, like she is kind of technically, it's like her and Kanan as a partnership are the leaders of the team, but yeah, we never get anything on Hera because of course she's the pilot, so she's always the one left on the ship, unless it takes the whole team, and we really haven't gotten that at all this season. Like even 5 episodes in, we had it in like the movie, and that's really about it. So I guess this is technically episode 6. This thing throws me off because I decided to go with the movie being the first episode, and that's why I said the wrong episode number in the last one, but I'm counting this as episode 6, not episode 5, so there's that just to throw it off, because I hate how they do it, where they don't count the movie as a part of the season, but then they call that the season premiere, because that's what they said when it came out, so I hate how they do the numbering for the show, and this follows, like, the numbering that you normally see online, but I go by the first episode, so sorry about that in the beginning, but I count it as episode 6, Wings of the Master. But either way, Hera was great in this episode. We got to see her, for one, be like the coolest pilot ever. She takes the ship into this planet, which basically just a lightning strike hits every ship that comes in. So there is no flying, you're just falling and you kind of guide it in and try not to die. So she does that, which is really awesome. I had a really funny scene with Zeb when he's like, "Is that a ship? Was that a ship? That was a ship." And she's like, "You're crazy, like you're just seeing things." So she lands it on like this tiny itty bitty little strip, which really freaked me out. Like just seeing that kind of freaked me out. Like I just don't see how anyone could possibly land there. But she makes that happen. We get this really cool ship, which honestly, I don't think there's been a ship as cool as this since. I don't want to count the Death Star as a ship, but honestly, that's like the only thing I can think that has actually been as cool. Like, no other ship have I seen that's been this cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Millennium Falcon, but this thing, I mean, if the Millennium Falcon shot lasers from that dish that was on top, it might stand a chance. But this thing was like the fastest ship ever. It had the craziest design, too. It was one of those ships that has like, it made me think of Boba Fett's ship a little bit because he has it where it's, it basically flies vertical. And I always thought that was pretty interesting. It always made it look a little weird, but I always liked that ship. And then there's some other ships as well that kind of have a similar design to it where it's like a just weird design where you're in a weird spot. And I was just thinking, like, when she was flying, I was like, how in the world does anyone fly a ship like that where you're in, like, this little ball and you basically have, like, 20 feet worth of ship just below you or above you? Because the way they first did it, she was rotating the whole thing, and then she was in the ball and the ship was rotating around her, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then it has, like, the side guns that come out, and you can charge it to make, like, a 4-point laser beam cannon, which was the coolest thing ever. I was like, that is insane how he managed to make that happen. But it was a really cool ship. Just seeing her, fly around when everything was just like this chaotic, crazy planet, like a planet, graveyard for ships. It was really cool, and she's just like flying all over the place and doing great. And then she comes in at the end of the episode, and they have this crazy convoy mess happening. In the beginning, they lose a bunch of people. They lost the cargo and everyone on board. They lost, I believe the guy's name was Phoenix Leader. So they lost him. They had to all retreat. And this whole thing is like, we need this new insanely great ship so that we can get past this blockade and help these people on this planet. Of course, Agent Callus is the one that's on the ship that's stopping them, or at least one of the ships, and naturally not the one that got destroyed. So it's like, of course, it's Agent Callus. They don't come face to face in this one. It's really just ship based, but it was really good. This was a nice ship based episode, and I don't think anything has ever made me like the flying in pretty much anything really outside of this episode of Star Wars. Like, it was just so cool, especially when she was in the ship testing it. That was the coolest part because she was flying through stuff, and with the crazy design, it just made it even cooler that she was so capable at doing it. And I was like, man, nothing ever seems to like make the flying in Star Wars or make the flying in any fictional show or even a live, based show seems so cool. And it was just like, man, that look, it made the ship flying seem so entertaining, and it definitely was in this episode. That was like the focus was ship combat and just being a great pilot, and she totally is. So I love this episode for its focus on Hera. Nothing like backstory related, but just a little bit of backstory. We did get like her talking about when she was younger and the Clone Wars were taking place and how she would peek up during all the battles and see the ships flying, and she kind of joined things not to help fight or not because she wanted to fight, but because she just wanted to fly. And that was a nice, tiny little touch of backstory, which I guess is really all we could ask for, but it was definitely fun. So I really enjoyed this episode. Not a ton to talk about, honestly. It was just like, it was ships. Like the whole thing was like about ships and Hera, and it was definitely great. So I love the episode, love the action in it. The ending scene was really cool because we got to see the laser cannon again, and they're flying around and just like she's dodging stuff and just shooting them up, and then it's like her and Sabine working together. So it has 2 points. I don't know where the other point was. I think it was like somewhere on the side maybe, which I guess that it spins around, so you never know what the side is. But somewhere along like the vertical strip, there's another spot for a second gunner. But it was really cool. Like, it was just a really fun episode. Love this ship. I hope we get to see a lot more of it, especially now that she's become the Phoenix leader, which I think is really cool. And I'm curious how that's going to play out, because it's always, it's been the Rebels, but if she's Phoenix leader and she's helping this team, I don't know if that means we'll get more episodes focused on Hera, or if we get less episodes with Hera in them, because she'll be with, this other team now, and then we have the Rebels still. So I hope it doesn't kind of separate her too much from the team, or maybe just the Rebels are going to have more backup all the time. It couldn't be all the time because it's, that team is meant for everyone. But it was a really cool way to end it, where she's just super awesome the whole episode, and then she gets a really cool position to help train other people that, could learn from her expertise. So I love the episode. Glad that we finally got a nice focus on Hera. I can't wait to get another one, because I would love more backstory on her. And the next episode actually seems like it focuses a lot on Sabine, which has me super excited, because they had the little montage thing when her old rival or former friend maybe came in, and she's just like destroying people, and she did some sort of counter and grabbed like a clone or grabbed one of the stormtroopers, and then that person got shot, and I'm assuming she just dropped the body and pulled out her gun and shot the other trooper. So I can't wait to see her. They're basically in a Wild West duel. Like, they both have their hands like towards their hips. I was like, I can't wait to freaking see it, and that just had me super excited for the next episode. But really love this one. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I want to know what you guys think about this new ship. As much as we got a great focus on Hera, another big part of that focus was this new ship and how it'll help, turn the tide against the Empire, which unfortunately we know exactly how well it's going to turn the tide, but it'll have its moments. But I want to know what you guys think about this ship, of course, as well as just the episode in general, so you can obviously put all your thoughts about Hera and what we got from her in this episode down below as well. But either way, no matter what you comment about, please do it down below, and of course, thanks for watching.